everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this bag here. It's super quick, super easy to adjust it to any size that you'd like. Great beginner bag. I'm making this, hashtagging this the modern day market bag. It's super cool, doesn't it? I mean, I like to take it to Walmart and sack up some groceries. If I got a few groceries, this would be great to sack them up in. So let me give you some measurements. So across it is just about 20 inches. And if I measure down to where the bottom base goes, it's about 12. Make it bigger or smaller if you choose. It's super easy. All you need to know how to do is single crochet and half double crochet. I purchased these handles off of Amazon, so you can look on there. They have tons of handles. I get a lot of my handles from Amazon, and these are just some decoratives I had to put on. Of course, you don't have to do that, but not only would this work well for a cool market bag, yarn carrying bag, project bag, diaper bag, all kinds of things, because it's got such the size on it. And you think this yarn, this blanket yarn, would be heavy, but it's not. It's actually a lightweight yarn, but yeah, it's still really strong. I like it. I think it turned out nice. The print's pretty cool. You guys want to go ahead and get started on it? Let's do it. Hey, I'll put a I didn't line this, but I will put a I mentioned at the end, it's a tutorial of how to line a bag at the end. I'll put a link to that so you can learn how to line it if you choose. Okay, so for this project, I used Lion Brand's Cover Story yarn. It says make an afghan with just one cake. Well, I made a bag with less than one cake. It is it's a 100% polyester blanket type of yarn, and it is a super bulky number 6. Now, of course, you don't have to use this yarn. Any size yarn you want will work, but if you want it to be, you know, like I said, a modern day, a market bag, cool diaper bag, I don't know, you might want to use a bulky 6. But you know, if you don't have that, you want to use a 4-weight or something, sure, you can adjust your chain length, because it's really easy to adjust. Now, that is not the color that I used. I used this one right here. Looks like a calico kitty, doesn't it? The color I used is called Oro. O-R-O. I'm sorry, I don't have the tag for it anymore. So there were 546 yards per, or 547 yards per cake, and this is what I have left. Probably half a cake, maybe a little bit more. I'm sure I could crochet another bag exactly the same and still have more left. So up 250 yards of 200 to 250 yards of a bulky 6 blanket yarn like this to make this bag. And I did say when I made something out of it, I would let you know how many knots were in it. Now, this is what I have left, and I did find 2 very small knots. They weren't anything to be concerned with. I crocheted them right in, and you can't even tell that they were there. So that's what I found in the amount of yarn that I used. And then I'm going to be using a size N, which is a 9mm crochet hook. Some ends are 10mm, and that would be fine too. So like I said, this is very, very easy. We will start off with the base. Now, if you want to make it the same size as mine, as I mentioned, I'm going to start off with a chain of 31 stitches. If you're using a smaller yarn, you just chain any number of chains until you get the base the size that you want to be. There's no stitch multiple. It could be any number that you wish. I'm going to show you on a smaller scale because I already got my big scale done, or my big piece done. So once you get your chain of 31 done, following me, you want to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And then we just do 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of our row. Remember, we're working on the base. And once you make it to the end of your row, which I'm almost there, we will do a row 2. We'll chain 1 and turn. Row 2 will be the repeat row. All it is just we single crochet into this very first stitch, and 1 single crochet in every stitch across. You should have 30 stitches at the end of row 1, and you'll have 30 stitches at the end of row 2. And we'll keep repeating row 2. All we're doing now for the base is rows of single crochet. When you get to the end of row 2, you chain 1 and turn, and you start again. 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get to the end. You'll always have 30 stitches at the end of every row, just like that. Row 3, chain 1, turn, and start again. You want to repeat this until you get a total of 8 rows of single crochet for your base. Now that's how many I'm doing. You can do more if you choose. That's however big you want your base to be. But I'm going to do 8 rows of single crochet, and then we will go around it and edge it, and then we'll work our bag up. You'll have this bag done in no time. Okay, so I have 8 rows finished here of single crochet. If you want to make your base bigger, that's fine. This pattern is really easy, and it's really easy to adjust to your liking. You know, you can make a bigger base, a smaller base, because there's really no certain stitch count. So even if you make a mistake, it's probably not going to even be noticeable. Okay, especially with this big yarn. Let me give you a measurement on mine though, just in case. So right now my base at 8 rows is just about 5.5 inches. Okay, now what we're going to do is go around the whole base with a row of single crochet. So do not tie off after your 8th row. What we're going to do is chain 1. Now I'm going to go down this side here, working 1 single crochet, kind of in the, between the, when I work on the sides, I go in between the last and the second to the last stitch. So remember, you'll have 8 rows. So here's the last stitch that we just did. So we're going to go to the next one. It's kind of hard to see with this, but just do your best. Remember, stitch count's not really that important. So if we make a mistake, no one's going to know. That's really a good thing about a bit thick yarn like this. Mistakes are very forgiving, which is what I like. So when you get down here to your last stitch, which will actually be the first stitch of the bottom row here, go ahead and put 3 single crochets in that, and that's going to kind of round out that corner a bit. Just like that. And now I'll work across the bottom here. And I'll put 1 single crochet in every stitch. You'll probably be able to see the stitches a little bit better where they need to go. But again, just do your best to try to hit every stitch if you can. Now you work this 1 single crochet here across the bottom until you get to your next corner. All right, So I've made it to my other corner here, and as you can see, here's the tail from where we first started. So we're going to go into that stitch, and again we're going to put 3 single crochets in it to help round out that corner. Still might pop up a bit, but that's fine. I'm going to turn my work here. We're going to work down the short side now, doing our best, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch here. Like I said, I usually go in between the last stitch there, second and last, between the first and you know what I mean, the last stitch and the last stitch in the next one, and put my single crochet all the way up here. And then when you make it up here to the top corner, we're going to put our 3 single crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now we're going to go around or across the top. This is where we started. So we're going to continue by putting 1 single crochet in every stitch across the top. And if you are using this yarn, I know it's kind of hard to see where your stitches need to go. That's why I tried to create an easy pattern that if you did miss a stitch, it's not really going to matter. So I'm going to continue 1 single crochet across until I make it to my, right over here where we started. Alright, now when you make it to your last stitch down here, we're going to go ahead and put 3 single crochets into that. Just like that. Now, that'll end that round where we went around the edge with single crochet. Now you can see my edges are flipping up. It's okay. We're not going to worry about that. I'm not going to count my stitches because, like I said, the amount of stitches that you have isn't really a factor. So I would just say evenly space out, you know, on that row, on that round, just evenly space out the single crochets the best that you can, and working 3 single crochets in each of the 4 corners. Now you're going to need a stitch marker. I'm going to use this piece of yarn here. Now we're just going to be working half double crochets. So I'm going to put my stitch marker here. That way I know where I end and where I begin. So instead of ending each round with a slip stitch, we're going to be working in a continual round of half double crochet. Therefore, there will be no visible seam. That's always good. You know, that's always a plus. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out in our first stitch in half double crochet. And we're going to half double crochet in every stitch. Just like this. Okay, and when you get to the corner where you did your 3 single crochets in the previous round, we're not going to do anything special. No extra stitches. It's just 1 half double crochet in each of those stitches. So nothing special in the corners. This round right here is actually the repeat round for the bag. Well, at least until we get to the main portion of the bag. Might decide to do something different at the top. You never know. But this will be the main repeat. So 1 half double crochet in every stitch. Remember, including the corners, nothing special at the corners right now, until we get back to our stitch marker. And I'll meet back up with you when we make it there. Now we are going to count this as row 1. Since it's half double crochets, the base is done. We went around the base with single crochet. We did, you know, it's finished. So we're going to count this half double crochet row right now as row 1 of the main portion of the bag. That way we don't get lost and we can keep track of how many rows we do. So right now I'm on row 1 of the bag's main portion. portion. And I'm going to continue around working 1/2 double in every stitch until I get back to my stitch marker. I'll see you there. Alright, row number 1 is done. As you can see, this bag probably won't take you too long if you're using this big yarn. So I've made it back to my stitch marker. So what I'm going to do now is move my stitch marker up to start round 2, which is actually just a repeat of row 1. And I move my stitch marker up. Now this is what we do on every row from now on until we get some height on our bag. Now we are going to just jump to our next 1/2 double crochet and put a 1/2 double crochet into it. So therefore there will be no seam. And now we continue around, putting 1/2 double crochet in every stitch until we get back to our stitch marker. We make it back, move our stitch marker up, and start again. Now if you prefer to count your stitches each round, just to make sure, you know, I didn't count mine, but to make sure that you're still keeping the same amount of stitches, you want to make sure that you do that. Keep the same amount of stitches. You can definitely do that. I'm going to try to wing it. I think I can see my stitches well enough to keep the same amount. But yeah, this is it. 1/2 doubles all the way around. 1/2 double, 1/2 double, 1/2 double till we get back to our stitch marker. Move it up, 1/2 double, 1/2 double all the way around again till we get back to our stitch marker. It's not going to take long. I'm going to keep going until I get my bag a little bit bigger. Look at that, already getting some height. I'll see you in a second. All right, I am back and I have done a total of 10 rows of 1/2 double crochet. You do more if you want, you can do less if you want. That's completely up to you. Now, if your bag's looking a little like, you know, and like maybe when you put handles on it, like the sides are going to flap open and stuff, that's okay. I'm going to do a round of decreases here at the top to help pull the top together. So I made it back to my stitch marker. Now remember, the number of stitches you have does not matter. So go ahead and move your stitch marker up. Now we're going to work some single crochets. Okay. So I'm going to work 4 single crochets in a row. And then I'll work a single crochet decrease. So I'm going to go into the next stitch and single crochet. And I want to do 4 in a row. So that was 1, 2, 3, and there's 4. And now I'll do a single crochet decrease, and it's worked over 2 stitches in case you're not familiar with it. So what we do is we go into the next stitch and draw up a loop, and then we go into the next stitch and draw up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 3 loops. So that took 2 stitches and made it into 1. So that's the pattern we're going to repeat now all the way around. I'm on round 11. 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we single crochet decrease over the next 2. So we go into the next one and draw up a loop, and then the next one, draw up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and go through all 3, just like that. I'm going to repeat that one more time. 1 single crochet into the next 4. So that was 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. And then single crochet decrease over the next 2. So I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I get back to my stitch marker. Okay, I've made it back around, and it does not matter how many stitches you have left. Just go ahead and keep repeating that pattern, whether you end in a decrease, whether you end with a decrease and then 2 single crochets left over. It doesn't matter what you have. Just go ahead and finish that out to your stitch marker. Go ahead and move your stitch marker up. I'm going to do one more round, which would be round 12 for me, and it's just going to be one round of single crochet all the way around. So no decreasing, just one round of single crochet, one in every stitch until I make it back to my stitch marker. This will be my final round. Apologize if I got off camera. Sometimes I have to look above my camera because it hurts my eyes to crochet through it, and then I get off camera a bit. Sorry about that. But anyways, this is the last round. One single crochet in every stitch until you get back to your starting point, or back to your stitch marker, and then I'll show you how to end it and add the handles and whatnot. Alright, I've made it back to my stitch marker. You can see my stitch marker there. What I'm going to do is go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch, like that. I'll slip stitch one more time into the next one, just to even it out a bit. And I'm going to pull up. You can take that stitch marker out, and I'm going to clip this yarn. Now, if you have a big needle to hide this tail, you can. But what I like to do to hide this thick stuff is I just use my hook and kind of weave it in around the top as best as I can. Sometimes it's hard to hide this stuff with only a yarn needle. So I'm just going to do this kind of around the top here. You can go on the inside if you want, so it's not quite so visible. Hide it along the inside. Just get it weaved in there to where you think it's not going to come undone. And then you can clip it off. Alright, now it's easy to apply these handles. Now remember, I purchased these handles off Amazon, as I mentioned in the beginning. I will leave a link below where I purchased them. It's not affiliated. I don't make money if you buy them. I don't care if you buy them. I don't care if you use these handles. You can buy different handles. You can use your own handles. Make your own. Just make some straps. Put them on here. You can make one long one, two long ones, two short ones. It's really, possibilities are endless on as far as handles go. Amazon is where I always go to purchase handles, or I go to resale shops and get them off old bags. But if you do have handles similar to this, or you want to make your own, go ahead and make it and lay your bag out to where it's just about even. As you can tell from the bottom, here's my base. Try to get it as even as possible, and all I do is eyeball it. I'm going to use these, and I'm just going to hook them on that second row. Is it the second row of single crochet? No, I got them hooked on the first row of single crochet. Now I'm going to try to get about the same distance between this as there is over here. So just kind of do some counting. It's not going to be perfect because you're eyeballing it. If you want it to be more exact, if you want to go down to the second row of single crochet, that's fine. But if you want it to be more exact, you can count it out perfectly. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to put them in the same spot on the other side. Like I said, just kind of, it's not going to be perfect, but I'll do my best to get it as close as I can. It's homemade. Not perfect when it's homemade. There we go. There we go. Okay, once you get done, you got your handles on. I put these on here. This is just paparazzi jewelry. One of my friends, actually, from YouTube, my very first subscriber, sells paparazzi jewelry. So when I buy it off her, I don't wear necklaces, but I always use them to decorate some of my crochet items. So it works well for me. I also have this long chain bought at Amazon. If you want to have two handles, you could hook it to the side like that. But that's it. That's all there is to it. I think it turned out really well. Now, if you make this Show me a picture. I'd like to see it. Come follow me on Instagram. Link below. Follow me on Instagram. Tag me in a picture. Show me what you're making. Just follow me. Hashtag Bagoday Crochet. Anything that you make of mine, anything you're not making of mine, any yarn you get, anything you think I would like to see, tag me in it. I like Instagram and I like to see other people's stuff. Now, if you want to line this bag, I'm not going to line it, but I do have a tutorial how to do this. So I'm going to put a link on the screen of another bag that I have that is will show you how to line a bag like this. Just fast forward it to the end to where I start lining, and it'll show you how to line a bag that has a flat bottom like this. So you can put plastic canvas in it if you want, to make it more sturdier, and then put a liner in it. But that's it. I hope everybody enjoyed. Have a good day. Stay safe.